Hey up and welcome to Corey's Corner. Right, I've just spent a whole week at a family gathering and let me tell you, those things can be absolutely brutal black pills, right? That's actually why I've been away this whole week, but anyway, luckily there wasn't too much of that this time, or unluckily, depending on how you look at it, considering I have less to talk about now, but we'll see what we can do, eh? So there was recently a bit of a falling out in my family between my mum and my aunt. Now I hate it when sort of middle-aged women have drama with each other, since they tend to be so fake, you know. I find that they'll put on displays of affection when in reality they don't like each other that much, and that's something you don't really get from most men. Anyway, this drama started a while ago. Long-time viewers of the corner will remember back in December I was gone for like a month. I'd basically gone to live on the other side of the world for a while, basically since I have family over there. More specifically, it's my uncle and his family. Now I lived with them for a while, and I was even employed by my aunt, like his wife, to work for her at her gas station, as they call it over there. So I was even employed for a short time, right? Anyway, fast forward to the end of April, I was with my mum going to this university open day. Now, these are basically days where the university will put on this show to people who might be interested in going there about what the university is all about. This particular university, which I've since been accepted into, by the way, so that's good for me, was a long drive away. It was very far away, so we stayed at this hotel in a town a few hours away. This hotel happened to be in the town my aunt lives in, and she apparently was upset that we hadn't visited her. And she sent my mum a string of text messages complaining, saying something like, apparently, you know, halfway across the world is fine, but a few minutes to see your family is too much to ask, stuff like that. Now, in her old age, my mum has grown a little bit weird, you know, a bit senile, and she often reads into things that don't really mean anything, and it's quite annoying when it happens. But in this, I was actually on her side. This was a ridiculous thing to say on the part of my aunt. Yet, I digress. Now, my mum and my aunt have never really got on extremely well, but it's never been this bad, right? The worst thing about this whole situation is that there's a big family gathering coming up in July. It's for my nan's birthday, and everyone's going to be there, so some trouble's probably going to kick off. Obviously, if it does, I'll be bringing you live updates, but that's quite a way away. Anyway, I've never really understood the emphasis on family values or anything like that, you know. When I was in the school, this kid told me about his brother, his younger brother, and he said he didn't really like him, but he had to get along with him and had to love him because he's in his family. And it just made me think, obviously they're just kids, so obviously brothers sometimes don't get along. But it just made me think, if someone does something shitty to you, it shouldn't matter that if they're related to you or not. That shouldn't matter, you know what I mean? What difference does it make if you're related to them? What I'd really like to do is start a family of my own, you know, a nice Protestant wife and a couple of kids. Is that too much to ask for? I don't know, apparently it is, but I know it probably is never going to happen. But if it ever does, I know I'll be keeping my kids as far away as possible from my current family. Now that sounds harsh, but the thing is, they just don't need to be a part of that drama, you know. My family's mostly secular as well. I'm pretty sure they're all like atheists pretty much. Apart from some of my grandparents, I'm pretty sure I'm the only Christian in my whole family. And if that isn't the black pill, I don't know what is. If I ever do have kids, the thing that would really worry me is that they'd come out all wonky, you know what I mean? I don't know what the politically correct term is, but I'm basically talking about them coming out semi-spasmoidal, or even full spasmoid, God forbid. You know what I mean? Like, special, basically. I mean, apparently I'm autistic. I don't really buy that, but I can at least function, you know? I can at least go through my day and take care of myself. Like, I could live by myself, fine, you know? But what if they came out really sloppy? Like, you know, the kind of thing where you'd say, put it back in, it's clearly not done yet, kind of shit. Like, what about then? I'm not having a go, like, but it does concern me a little bit, since there is one guy in my family who's really special. I'm not exactly sure what he has, but he's one of them ones where you can't even speak, you just make noises, you know the ones I mean? And he's about my age as well, and without sounding harsh, I've seen how that turned out for his parents. And they got divorced, and his dad drinks like it's nobody's business. And his dad's really mental as well, though. And that's probably where he got it. He always wanted to join the Navy, but he couldn't because he's colourblind, right? And one day he got arrested on the Isle of Wight ferry for dressing up like a Navy officer, and he was brandishing a copy of Mein Kampf around. He always used to carry one with him. I mean, he's bipolar, but he got fired for his job at a prison, right? He was a guard, and he got fired for sneaking in pornos to the prisoners, like porno magazines. This was back in the day when, you know, you didn't just have Pornhub or whatever. And don't even ask me what he's up to these days, but that's what I'm talking about. My family's just fucking weird, dude. You know, sorry to swear, but they really are. I have loads of stories about my family that I haven't told on the channel before, but the thing is, I just don't really want to tell them because they're not really black pill material, you know? They're more funny, if anything. But if that's something you guys want to hear, like, let me know and I'll do it. I suppose they are kind of black pills, kind of, if you think about it, right? Because it shows how weird my family is. And what I mean is, if I had a normal and well-adjusted family, I probably wouldn't be making these videos right now, would I? You know what I mean? I guess that's all for today, really. I'll end this on a black pill, though. I'll end this on a black pill note. The worst part of my family gatherings is just having nothing to show for, you know. Like, especially when you hit adulthood. I remember when I was a kid, if I made a C on an exam or something like that, everyone would congratulate me. They'd be like, well done, Corey, you know, yada yada yada. And nowadays it's like nothing I do is ever enough. People get mad at me or frustrated at me for not learning to drive yet, for not having a car and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, you know what I mean? I'm back when I was unemployed for like a month as well, people were on my case about that, and it's like, Jesus, you know, just get off my case. Sorry to take the Lord's name in vain, but seriously. I even made a whole video about that whole situation. And yeah, it's been like 4 months since I uploaded that video and nothing's really changed. The worst part of the whole week was sitting down to dinner and my nan's just talking about like my cousins who are getting married, or another couple who they've chosen the name for their baby and stuff because she's pregnant and they've already chosen the name. And I'm just sitting there in silence thinking, you know, that would be good to talk about on my channel and stuff. That's absolutely brutal. People my age are getting married and having kids and stuff, and I'm making this video. I mean, I'm grateful for the channel, but no offense to you guys, but I'd much rather have a wife and kids, to be honest. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. It's brutal. It really is so brutal. It's like I can't help but laugh at it because it's like, what did he say? It's like the Joker said, I used to think my life was a tragedy, now I realise it's a comedy. It really is, because if you look at it, it is kind of funny, but yeah, it's pretty brutal at the same time. Yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it for today. As I say, if you guys want to hear more about my family, like, comment and tell me and stuff, and I've got loads. I could tell you stories for yonks. Seriously, so much stuff I have such a weird family. Anyway, yeah, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it. I just want your honest opinions. As always, I don't want you guys to lie to me. Subscribe for more. Like, yeah, everything. I don't like saying this stuff at the end because it all feels kind of fake. But I do mean it when I say I appreciate you guys watching. I really do mean it. You know, this channel would be nothing without you guys, and especially you guys who watched till the end of the video. I really appreciate you guys. So thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.